Hi there, Liam here and welcome to the channel. In this lesson we're going to be talking about scales. We're going to be talking about different ways to play scales, and I'm going to show you a number of examples where you can work on your fretboard visualization and just get better at being able to practice scales in lots of different ways. So hopefully this lesson should be very helpful for you. Let's do it. Before we continue, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. So if you do like the video, hit that big red button down below, and obviously don't forget to click the bell so you never miss a new video. Let's get back to it. So for all of these examples, they're all going to be in the key of A. So the first example is just going to be this common 3-note per string that I think most people learn when they start learning scales. So it just goes like this. I'll do that once more. That's a really good one because it's very usable and it's very movable, and it uses a lot of the finger combinations that you're likely to find in this kind of playing. So in other words, it's going to be, you know, the whole step shape, half step whole step, and then whole step half step. So we got a lot of those different finger combinations, and it's kind of for most people, I guess it's the scale that you learn from like intense rock, like Paul Gilbert's intense rock. It's kind of the bread and butter of what he did back then. So I think for a lot of people, you know, learning that scale is kind of like the, you know, sort of the entry into that. And it's very, you know, again, it's very usable and very movable. But, you know, it's just one chunk of the neck. And, you know, that's a good picking workout, and you can use it for all kinds of techniques. But we're going to sort of visualize it. We're going to kind of play that sequence of notes up and down, but we're just going to do it, you know, with different combinations of notes per string. So with that in mind, so that's going to be form number 1, like that. We're going to start with our middle finger on the same note. It's just going to go like this. So this, I guess this is form number 2. We'll do that once more. So that's one that I found in, you know, in a lot of like scale lessons on the internet and a lot of scale books and stuff like that. But it's still a good one to learn, you know. And again, that's like our 2 notes per string on the bottom, and then two notes per string on the top at the end of it. So another way to play A major. The third way is going to be starting on the same notes. We're going to be starting our little finger. This is going to be a little bit stretchier because we're on the lower part of the neck, and it's just going to go like this. Do that once more. Bit more of a left-hand workout because it's in the you know, pretty much the lowest part of the neck. And again, the picking is going to feel different on all of these. All of these are going to feel a little different from one another because the order of the picking and the pick strokes is slightly different. So, you know, if you play that, it's going to feel a little different than going like that, and so on. Another variation of that one you could do is you could sort of chop and change the notes in between. So, for example, rather than making on the D string 3 notes per string, you make 2 notes per string, which will look like this. I'll do that once more. So we've already covered like a really huge part of the neck already, just, you know, and this is all just A. So we've done like 5, maybe 6 different forms of already. So this should be already a good left-hand workout for you. So that's that part of the neck so far. We've mainly be just operating in like 3, you know, 1, 2, and 3 notes per string. But the next part we're going to be doing 3 and 4 notes per string. So that's where it gets even more interesting. So before we do that, we'll just go through all of the forms that we learned so far. So I'll do them all one after the other, and then we'll get on to the next part. So here they are. This next example is going to move up the neck a little bit differently. It's going to move up to the highest note, so we're going to cover a lot of ground here. It's going to move more in this fashion rather than kind of like the sort of the box fashion that we've been doing before. So I'll just play through the example and then we'll break it down. So as you can see, that's a combination of 3 and 4 notes per string. And it's more of a left-hand challenge than anything because the little finger is constantly in front. And I always feel like it's a bit of, you always feel like you're kind of on the edge a little bit because you're not very far from kind of playing a pretty dodgy note. So you have to pay attention to that. So accuracy is paramount with this. Picking doesn't feel too bad with it. It feels fairly even. So I'll play through that example once more. So once you get to the top, don't forget to play it back down as well. So obviously ascend, but don't forget to descend. So you can either just stop on that note and then descend, or you can do the both of them consecutively. Either way, you'll still be able to join the dots together pretty well. So once you get here, then you can start combining a lot of the other familiar major scale shapes that we did before. So if you remember these forms and these ones and so on, you can do the ones that are just an octave up. So they're exactly the same shape, but just exactly 12 frets above. So obviously we have form number 1, but an octave higher. Bit of a squeeze, but you can get that. And then obviously you can start going. So you can just sort of fly with it a little bit, you know, and all of a sudden just the position just start to overlap and you just start seeing the neck kind of, you don't start seeing it in just like little pockets and then there's other parts of the neck that are kind of like a bit obscurity. You just start seeing seeing it for what it is, you know. It all just starts lighting up. So I'll do that example again and then I'll combine it with a couple of the others as well. I'll try to anyway. So here we are. So yeah, the sky's the limit with it really. So that's our 3 and 4 notes per string example, combined with a couple of the other ones that we did before. So our final one is going to be 4 notes per string. Our last example is all 4 notes per string. This is a good left hand workout and it just goes like this. So there's a few things there. It's got some similarities to the previous examples. So sort of for the left hand, obviously you have to watch your little finger so you don't go onto a wrong note. So you have to pay special attention to that. So obviously watch your accuracy with it. The picking hand is pretty good because it's an even number of notes per string. So the picking is fairly easy in that sense. But it's like before where you can go, once you get here, then you can start exploring that familiar territory where we kind of, we borrow some forms from like kind of the lower part of the neck, they're exactly the same shapes, we're just doing an octave up, and once, we can do this one as well. Like that, and then, so you start really connecting them. So there's a few different ways you can kind of connect them as well. There's obviously those two, then there's this one. Kind of bears some similarities to that one. So that's your 3 note per string A major starting on the, that's the 5th string root there. You can also do it like this, where you can chop and change the amount of notes on the string. So like this. Like that. Lots of possibilities. Another one you can do is you can start with your middle finger, your little finger rather, on the 12th fret there, and do it more like this. Then come back down. Quite a lot of things there. So if we combine this with our 4 notes per string, Come back down another form maybe. And then we can end in that, and that. There's another one right there, right on this, starting on the D string. So it's the same, almost same octave as that. We're just starting here, so it'll look like this. Come back down, and then we can just climb our way back down the scale. So lots of possibilities there. So that phone up a string is a really good workout in of itself, but it allows you to just connect all the positions together. Which makes for a really good visualization exercise. And it's not, the good thing about this, it's not so much about the speed of it, but it's more about just being able to see all the dots on the neck light up at once. So really good exercise for that. So I'll play the phone up a string thing again. I'll do a couple of examples on top of that, and then we'll wrap it up. So here it is. So hopefully that should help you out with some scale practicing and make it a little bit more challenging, a bit more enjoyable for you. So hopefully that helps. Hope you enjoyed the video and you got something useful out of it. If you did, subscribe for future videos. See you in the next one.